Hi, this is Jason Talbert, and I'm here with Princella Smith. And Princella, right now you're thinking about running for Congress over in East Arkansas. Tell me about why you're thinking about jumping in this race.
Well, I am excited about the political climate in this country. I think that Arkansas is no different from anywhere else in the country in the sense that they're very concerned. People here are very concerned about the economy, about the state of education, about health care. They're concerned about national security and overall just a better place to work, live, and raise a family. And so when the opportunity came to look at this seat, I had to heavily weigh it. It is. I have been in Washington, D.C. for a few years. I obviously visited the district a lot. I still continue to come to Arkansas. And I never lost touch with the people here and how we think and our core belief systems. And the longer I was in Washington, the more I realized that the leaders there unfortunately don't understand small town America. And so with the sitting congressman deciding not to run again, I thought this would be a good opportunity to get a true fighter in Congress and who would represent the best interests of the district and would bring a fresh, bold, new, solutions-oriented agenda to Washington, which is very much needed right now.
Sure. Well, obviously right now the race is in a bit of a flux. The only announced candidate, I believe, in it right now is the Republican Rick Crawford. What is it about you that separates you from Rick? Why should the people of East Arkansas nominate you to carry the Republican banner this year?
Well, look, honestly, I have not met Rick. From all accounts I hear he's a very nice guy. Obviously, he owns an agri radio network, so he's very versed, I would imagine, versed on the agriculture issue here, which is going to be a big issue. I believe, though, that what would separate me from anyone running in this race, regardless of party or affiliation or background, is the fact that I bring a deep understanding of the core issues that will be fundamentally important to people all across the state and all across the country. When you go to Congress, when you have a federally elected position, the decisions you make not only affect your district, but they affect the entire country. And so I'm coming at this with the mindset of this is great for Arkansas, this is great for the 1st District, and we need great representation. But we also need more people that make up the entire body of Congress as a whole who are going to come in and bring in great ideas that are good for the entire country. And so I know that you put my energy next to someone else's, and it's not matchable. I have a lot of energy, I have a lot of gusto, I have a lot of passion for this. I grew up in this district. My grandparents are here in this district. My aunts, uncles, and cousins are. And I just have a really sincere heart for this. It's not a next step or an ambitious step. It's more of what I feel is the right step by exploring this run. So I think that's what makes me different than anyone else.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about, one of the criticisms that Representative Berry had, probably his main criticism last year, was his vote for the health care bill that went through the House. Your current employer, Congressman Gow from New Orleans, actually voted for that as well. So just help us out. What are your views on the health care bill that was passed?
Look, I'm actually glad you asked this question, because I've been asked this a lot in the field. Number one, when you work for someone on Capitol Hill, it's a different situation than other situations. And you have to look at the position the person held. My position was the position of communications director, the press person. So my job was to communicate why my boss voted a certain way or didn't vote a certain way. I didn't make the decision for Congressman Cal. Certainly didn't help write the bill. But my job was to get his message out. I can tell you this much. I disagree with his vote. I believe fundamentally that health care bill is not what's best for America. I don't believe that an employer mandate burden should be put on our small businesses. I don't believe that there should be cuts to Medicare. I most certainly, now, the House version of the bill that he voted for protected the lives of the unborn, but the Senate version does not. So, okay, I am certainly pro-life. And I fundamentally believe that a more socialized version of medicine, of a healthcare system, is again fundamentally not what's good for our country. And so again, I'm glad you asked the question. I respect my former boss. Actually, it's former now. Yeah, last Friday was my last day. I respect what he was trying to do. The district is, his district in New Orleans has 21% of uninsured people. It was hit by Hurricane Katrina, and they don't even have a full functioning hospital in New Orleans. And so I understand it, but aside from that, where I was working, personally, I opposed the bill. So I hope that clears up.
Well, sure. One of the things I think that's going to be probably the biggest issue in this next election cycle is the economy, is jobs. Unemployment obviously has hit Arkansas very hard. What are some ideas you have to help create jobs? And there's kind of two schools of thought on how we create jobs in this country. What's your view? How do we do that?
Well, first of all, we have to relieve it sounds so cliche, all the Republicans talk about taxes, but we really do need to relieve the tax burden on the American people. We also need to eliminate the capital gains tax. Those two things, look, we live in a capitalist society, okay? So you don't want to punish the people who own businesses because businesses create jobs. Let me give you some statistics. In Arkansas, over 90% of the people who are employed here are employed by small businesses. We now have a 7.7% unemployment rate in the state. That is entirely unacceptable. The U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill, the Financial Regulatory Reform Bill. It's H.R. 4173. It was authored by Barney Frank, or led by Barney Frank, okay, a congressman in Massachusetts. That bill passed the House, and it was so quiet, and it was so, I guess, not a big flashy issue like healthcare, universal healthcare. It didn't have any sound bites, and so people didn't talk about it. But let me tell you, that bill is awful, okay? The bill allows the Federal Reserve to set salaries for little small businesses. Okay, so little Johnny's knick-knack store on the corner could have his salary set by someone in D.C. of the Federal Reserve that no one at little Johnny's knick-knack store even knows. It prohibits, or I shouldn't say prohibits, it severely handicaps, okay, banks' abilities to give loans to small businesses. And so those kinds of things, those kinds of overreaching legislative, overreaching pieces of legislation are things that hurt small town America, and frankly all of America, because the majority of Americans are employed by small businesses. So if I decide to get in this race, the number one platform I'm going to run on is job creation. And one of the first steps that a congressperson can do is preventing legislation like that, and creating legislation that encourages innovation, opportunity, providing tax credits, for example, for people who use green efficient energy, things like that. You want to discourage people from outsourcing jobs so much, and make them believe that America, once again, is the best place to start your businesses. But you have to be business friendly, especially in this economy, if you're going to turn it around. People do not have jobs. Okay, and yes, the unemployment rate went down a little bit, but what they don't count is the number of people who have stopped looking for jobs. So you better believe, if you see Princella Smith in this race, there's going to be jobs at the top of the list.
Well, great. Well, certainly an exciting time in Arkansas politics. We're going to be keeping an eye on what's going on in your part of the state. It's where I'm from, so I have a large interest there. When can we expect a decision from you?
I think, like I've been saying the whole time, a couple of weeks. I think in my particular situation, it was a good idea to form an exploratory committee, come down, canvass the 26 counties, get a survey and scope of what's going on and what people want. And look, I can give you an insight. I have received very positive responses. People anywhere from elected officials to just party activists to just your average run-of-the-mill everyday person have all been encouraged that possibly there will be a new face and a new voice in this race this time, and possibly in the United States Congress. So definitely 2 weeks. If you guys can give me 2 weeks,
all right, great.
I think we can have an answer by then.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, thanks.